my name is Alexia Shepherd, and get ready because you're about to chat with Alexia.
We have got to talk about this.
Now, today, I have gotten many a question. One thing that I am asked a ton by my friends and family who don't quite know how to get a grip on this is, how do I find my aesthetic? How do I find my personal style? And that's not just with clothes. It heavily involves clothes, but that's even like when you decorate your room, when you go shopping, when you buy a phone charger. It goes that deep, you guys. It goes that deep, and I will explain how. But before we get started, I just want to let you know that you can find me on Instagram at Alexia Shep, on Twitter at Alexia Shep, and on TikTok as Alexia Shep, because who doesn't love TikTok? Let's get into it. So first, it's best to just tell you what an aesthetic is, and I'm not talking a dictionary definition because I'm pretty sure that one is like what's pleasing to the eye or something like that. What I am talking about as an aesthetic, and what is like, you know, world renowned, Handsome's doing this business. What I define as an aesthetic, it's your personal style, your personal vibe. And that is hard to find. Like, that is so hard to find. I literally started trying to find my aesthetic, which I wouldn't know that's what that was. You know what I mean? Like, back then it was just like your style. But now, like, it's a whole like effort, you know what I mean? Was middle school. I promise it will not take you that long, because so many things have come out since that help you find it, that can really aid you in your aesthetic journey. But I literally started in middle school, and the very first step in finding your aesthetic is inspiration, okay? Nowadays, there is Pinterest, and you can go on Pinterest to help you. But the first thing you need to do is what I did, which this is just a very old school tip. The thing that actually made me want to find my aesthetic was find a character, TV, movie, I don't know about book, just because you don't have any visuals to go off of, that you love their style. Something about their style kicks something up in you. And then look up, you know, like all the different outfits they wear and things like that. And then you can go in Pinterest and put in that character aesthetic. So for example, the aesthetic that changed my life aesthetic-wise, that really helped me hone in on my own, is Santana Lopez from Glee. Doing these videos makes me realize how heavily influenced I am, like my life is, by Glee. That's just how obsessed I was with it. If you haven't seen my Glee video, it's hilarious. And I actually predict the Leah Michelle drama in it, so you should check it out. It was Santana Lopez because as soon as they were off the Cheerios, they got to wear like their own style. At first, 12-year-old me was enthralled by Britney's style. I loved it. I loved Britney. And I started dressing like her first. But as I grew up, I was like, no, I think Santana is the one. I think she's the one that I relate the most to, style. And what you do on Pinterest is you search in Santana Lopez aesthetic. Now, here's a tip when it comes to that. You should not base your aesthetic on that single character alone. I'm sure if you've seen Glee and you see this background, you can see a piece of Santana in this background, but it's not her aesthetic. Does that make sense? Like, for example, in the Harry Styles classic Cherry from his album Fine Line, very good, there's a line that says, there's a piece of you in how I dress. There should just be a piece of that character, because the rest of the work you're gonna do is, you know, you. And I don't think it should be one character. Like, look up a few, and it's all about a good balance of each. Also, okay, you need a Pinterest board, sis. That's the next step, honestly. Get you a Pinterest board, and then once you find the characters that you like how they look, once you find that character, you need to sort of define your style a little bit. So what I mean by that is it preppy? Is it bohemian? Bohemian is kind of like a hippie-ish kind of style. Is it glam? Is it girly? Is it dapper? You know, like, there's so many different things, and I think starting and looking up, like, you know, different style definitions will help you. And I think that that will come about once you are researching your characters. So once you've got that in order and you've kind of figured out the vibe that you want to go for, the next step is simply curating the items. If you don't get it perfect right away, and in fact, you probably aren't going to, that's like shade. That's just, you know, it takes practice to do everything. It's just like anything else. You're not gonna be completely satisfied your very first time. The way that I think about it is, when you're curating these items, and that's not just clothes, okay? That could be anything. Do you guys wanna see what my computer mouse looks like? I could have bought just like a normal computer mouse. It's kind of dirty because it's on the makeup, but it's this cute little rose gold one. Like, it's anything can be cute. That is my motto. Anything you buy can be cute. You can buy a cute lint fuzz.
This is editing, Lexi, and that is definitely a lint razor, but you guys knew what I meant.
You know what I mean? It's gotta be like, it's that kind of meticulousness, whichever, that makes some aesthetics stand apart from others. The way that I like to really think about that thing is, think about it. Think of it as, clothes-wise, you're costume designing your life. You're the costume designer. You're the set designer when it comes to your room. You're set designing your life. Think of the amount of detail that goes into making a character's like bedroom and picking out the backpack that a character wears. You have to put that sort of effort into everything you do, and it will be fun. Like, I've met, like, if you're watching this video, I'm sure this will be fun for you. Like, it's effort, but it's gonna be like fun, you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna be anything where you're like, this is like manual labor, you know what I mean? Also, okay, cute also doesn't equal expensive. I don't know if I've said this in a video. If you can find something cute, you can find it for cute and cheap, and if you can't find it for cheap, you can DIY, okay? Never underestimate the power of spray paint, I promise you. And if you see something that you like, but you think, oh, this isn't perfect though, I would wait a little bit before you bought it. I would do some more research, and then if it's not perfect, that's okay. You know what I mean? But you can fix that later. Telling you guys, power brows are it. I hope they never go away. I hope we never go back to that thin shit. When forming your aesthetic, there are common mistakes, okay? I made them. That's how I know. The first common mistake is thinking that one color equals an aesthetic, or just focusing too much on color. Now, color is extremely important. Like, it is a very important part of your aesthetic, and a lot of times it's kind of what kickstarts you. Even think of Jade from Victorious. Color is a big part of the aesthetic that she puts off, you know what I mean? But even Jade, like, later in the seasons, lightens up her hair a little bit with that green, and it's like a vibe. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, not everything is black. There's just different ways to go about it. And some people, that will be your, like, if that is, like, for example, like, I'm thinking of my friend Shelly right now because she loves Elvira. Elvira's aesthetic is a lot of black. It's usually only black, and that is okay. But it's more or less usually going to be a vibe that you put off over colors you wear. So the mistake I made, right? When I figured out, I was like, okay, Santana Lopez is the one that I'm gonna model myself after. I noticed that she didn't really wear a lot of bright colors, and that I didn't like bright colors. Now, that's another thing. Do not focus so much on the characters that you pick, or even like, think of like a person in your life maybe that has their aesthetic like tight, like you know, in check, and do not make it inauthentic to yourself. Or hey, if you like super dark colors but you really love Honey Lemon from Big Hero 6, there's a way to mesh the two. Don't ever think that there's not. You know what I mean? Like I said, colors they're important, but they aren't everything. And oftentimes it can actually result in you being extremely inauthentic to your aesthetic. For example, this red shoe and this red shoe, we're living in two different houses, mama. Completely different houses. This green sweatshirt and this pink sneaker look like they can be owned by the same person. That's what I mean. So don't get so fixated on color like I did. Like, I used to just pick out red and black things. Like, that's it. Like, you can see a hint of that in my old self. But think of it this, right? This is literally my bed sheeting freshman year, right? black pillow, red pillow, this tapestry, a black comforter, the black bed. Like, it was just a lot, you know what I mean? And I'm sure from like the angle you're like, girl, you haven't really gotten over the black and red thing. I'm working on it. And now I'm getting in a dangerous place with rose gold. I love rose gold. I have it on my nails. I have a lot of rose gold things in my room. I showed you on my mouse, and I just keep telling myself like, Alexia, you can't get you can't replace black and red with rose gold. Just keep in mind that colors aren't everything, and that somebody else's look, while you admire it, maybe isn't your whole look, and that might feel like a mistake, but it's not. I promise. You're actually on the right track. Let me give you some tips about your room decor as well. If you're on this channel, most likely you watch other YouTubers. The best thing to do, and even if you don't, is watch room tours, okay? There's a reason why, I literally am like, I think to myself, I'm the weirdest person. Someone's at the door. I'm the weirdest person. Why do I like watching room tours? And like lately it's been car tours, because I got a new car, so I'm like, I need to look at other people's cars. But the main thing is it helps you draw inspiration for yourself. I would not completely write off a room that doesn't look like your aesthetic, because you could get ideas from that room. Like, for example, there is a YouTuber named Alicia Marie. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's like huge on YouTube. Her aesthetic is more what I like to think of like preppy, edgy. She likes a lot of white. She likes a lot of like comfy clothes, but she also loves like a little glamorous little updo, and like, but some of the best room decor I've seen is in her room, and I want to do them in my room. Maybe not this room, but a room in the future. And I'm like, yes. And that's how you just gain inspiration. Or like, maybe if the room is your aesthetic that you look up, like when you watch room tours, whatever, you will find pieces that you like, and you can find something similar. That's what it's about. It's about kind of not opening your mind, but broadening your horizons. That's the best way to put it, because like, you may not have known that something like that existed if you didn't look on. That's the great thing about YouTube and like the resources that we have now. It opens you up to a whole world. Like, TV was kind of like my main inspiration grotto before YouTube, like before I got into it. So that's why I kind of look at my life a lot like I'm a character, and this is like my character's set design, my character's costume design, the makeup that my character wears. And makeup, that's another thing. Okay, if you wear makeup can really enhance your aesthetic as well. You know, and even not wearing makeup can really enhance your aesthetic. Like let's say you want like this bohemian look, but you want like a hint of glam, but you don't want like diamonds or like pearls. That's when you can come in with your makeup and give like a nice beat face and be like, boom. And that changes up the whole vibe. Putting together your aesthetic really is like artistry, y'all. Like, I know that sounds so stupid, but have you seen those movies, or not those movies, have you seen those videos where people replace the music of a scene in a movie to make it completely different? So like, it'll be a scary scene, but like they'll play like a really happy song, and it like is messing up your mind. That's kind of like an aesthetic. Like there's, and honestly, like sometimes that's really satisfying to like see a scary scene but a happy song. Like, it's like the mind is like satisfying, and that's what building your aesthetic is like. You're building a world within yourself. That's why I love decorating my room. Like, a lot of people at my parents are like, why is your room decorating like so important to you? Like, why can't it just be like, you know, like my dad says all the time, he's like, when I was in the army, all I had was a cot and yada yada yada. And I'm like, well, that's all well and good, and I respect that, and I respect people that feel the same way as you. But I like it because it's like your own little space to do whatever you want. Like, it's like you build your own little country or like kingdom. You get to decorate this how you want. And I know it can be so frustrating if you share a room with somebody, I know, but you take your half of the room and you build your world. Build that world. And like, there is a 99.999 chance that your aesthetic is gonna evolve. Like, you're not gonna always Like the same things, my aesthetic is evolving so much. I was very afraid to put more color in my aesthetic, and I'm leaning more towards it now. Like I bought a blue shirt for 4th of July, which does not sound like a good idea. Like it doesn't sound like big at all. But for me, like that's pretty damn big. Like I would usually buy like a white one and pair it with red and do like blue accessories. But like I bought a blue one that still matches like my look. And that's why I emphasize the color thing so much, because that's my main thing. And if you have any questions, like totally leave it in the comments. It's gonna change, and I don't want you to get discouraged if you don't get it what you think is completely perfect the first time, because there's kind of a beauty in it. Sometimes like there's a whole book, right, called Mistakes That Worked, full of the inventions that people made that were mistakes originally. Y'all, I almost forgot this. That were mistakes originally that worked. Among those were potato chips, Coke, dumplings, I'm pretty sure. Or not dumplings, pot stickers were a mistake. They cooked their dumplings too long and they made that. So it might be like a thing of beauty. You know what I mean? So if it's not perfect, don't worry. Like it would be weird if it was. Great weird, but nonetheless a little weird. But that's just what helps me. And I know a lot of people ask me, because people say I have a very like strong aesthetic, and I agree with them, because I'm a stickler about everything I buy. I really try to keep like a tight ship when it comes to my aesthetic, and that's true. But I'm still not done. Like my main battle right now is clothes, because my body just has the weirdest proportions like known to man. So it's hard for me to like buy clothes that I think would look good with my style that would still look good on me as like a person. So that's been a struggle. But yeah, those are the tips that help me. I hope this helps you. Like I said, if you have a question, you can leave it in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, come on, join the flock. Like, we're very friendly. Don't worry about it. Remember, you're a doll, and Shepherd is all by the stars. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.